Welcome to the kbbreview podcast. My name is Andy Davies, and for those keeping track of mildly obscure Star Trek references in the show, this is episode 7 of season 9. But while I've been eagerly anticipating that particular moment for 180 episodes, I must reluctantly gloss over it because this episode is all about something much more momentous. Entries are open for the kbbreview Retail and Design Awards 2024. Yes, for those not listening in real time, how dare you, entries opened on September the 1st for the biggest awards in the UK and Ireland kitchen and bathroom sector, and after a triumphant night in Cardiff back in April for the conclusion of the 2023 awards, we're kicking off 2024 right here. And it's a very, very special one this time around as we're celebrating an amazing 30 years. So, in this episode, we're going to break down all the important stuff you need to know. What's it all about? What are the categories? How does the judging work? And most importantly, I'll give you my top tips for putting perfect entries together. Why? Because I don't believe in the no-win scenario. And it's a huge pleasure to welcome back our awards podcast partner for 2024, Sonas Bathrooms. It's great to have their support again, as between now and the event in March, we'll be bringing you special bonus episodes where we'll meet previous winners, as well as 2024 judges and finalists. In fact, we'll be revealing the shortlist itself in a very special episode of this very podcast just before Christmas. So, a massive thank you to Sonas Bathrooms, as it wouldn't be possible without them. They launched in the UK last year, as many of you know, after years of success in their native island. And since then, they've gone from strength to strength. You can find out everything you need to know about them at sonasbathrooms.com, and I'll make sure that link is in the episode description. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. I think the kbbreview Retail and Design Awards are only the biggest awards in the UK and Ireland kitchen and bathroom retail sector, thank you very much. And as I said, in 2024, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. I haven't done all of them, but terrifyingly, I have done the majority of them. I'm so very old now. We have categories for designers, retailers, showrooms, newcomers, new businesses, installers and suppliers. So there's something for everyone, and I'll go through a bit more detail on all of them in a bit. Entries are open from September the 1st until the closing date at 5 p.m. on Thursday, November the 16th. And that really is the closing date. We never ever extend it. What's the point of giving a closing date if you don't use it? It is totally free to enter, always has been. And in fact, if you get shortlisted in the designer, retailer, showroom, rising star or installer categories, you get 2 free tickets to the event itself. And there'll be a bit more on that later on too. All the info you need on entering and coming to the event is on the official website, which you must now sear onto your brain, kbbreview.com/awards. That's kbbreview.com/awards, and I will put that link in the episode description too. So let's look at some of these categories in a bit more detail, and you can see which ones take your fancy. Let's start with the design categories. We have 3 for kitchen, 3 for bathroom, and they are divided up by project cost. So we have Kitchen Designer of the Year, project cost up to £30,000. Then we have project cost £30,000 to £50,000, and then project cost over £50,000. In bathrooms, it's Bathroom Designer of the Year, project cost up to £10,000, then £10,000 to £25,000, and finally project cost over £25,000. I mean, you get the idea. Now, the question that always gets asked here is, what do we mean by project cost? For these awards, we define project cost as the price paid by your client to you. There's a lot of variables in that project cost, of course, and it's impossible, believe me, we've looked, to have a more strict definition than that without having hundreds and hundreds of categories. So on the entry form, you must declare what is and isn't included in the project cost you're giving. Installation, VAT, the client sourced his own appliances, the tiles came from eBay, whatever it is. If it's a significant cost that isn't included, you must say so on the form. And why do we do that? Because the judges are professional designers too, and they understand all these nuances and can take them into account in their deliberations. So yes, you can have 2 bathrooms, for example, which both have a project cost of £24,999, but one includes installation and one doesn't. And that's obviously a big gap. But that's why they're called judges. They have to make an informed judgment. This isn't an audit, so we will take any numbers you give us at face value. But trust me, and I've done this for years, there is zero advantage to be had in manipulating numbers to push yourself into one category or another. Judges can spot that a mile away. So that's the design categories, and they are open to any designers of kitchens and bathrooms in the UK. The only restrictions are that they must be real projects in real homes, so showroom displays or concept-only designs aren't eligible. And I really can't stress this highly enough, individuals can only enter each design category once. So you can enter all 6 design categories if you want to, but you can't submit multiple entries in each category. Now, different designers from the same company can enter the same category, but, and I can never say this often enough, each individual person can only enter each category once. So if you are entering our design categories, good luck to you, and I can't wait to see what you've come up with. It's one of my favourite parts of the whole thing. On to some of our other categories. The Installation Company of the Year is pretty self-explanatory. The important bit to note is that it's open to installation companies, obviously, but it's also open to retailers with an installation arm of the business, which is a pretty wide scope. The Rising Star of the Year is one of my favourites. This is all about finding the upcoming people working in a KBB retail business who are really making a big impact. These are the ones to watch, the change makers, the ones with the new ideas, the stars who are rising. You have to be 30 or under on the closing date of November the 16th to be eligible for this, and you can either enter yourself if that's you, or if you're a retailer and there's someone in your business that you think deserves this, you can nominate them too. We're also looking at the achievements of key people in a business in the Supplier Team of the Year. Yes, this one is not for retailers, it's for any company supplying KBB retail businesses with products or services. But it is looking for the best team of people within that business in how they support their retailers. So it must be a team that performs a specific task within the company. So sales, marketing, logistics, customer service, the warehouse, technical support, etc., etc. In other words, you can't just enter the entire company. But it's very much a people award, which I think is what makes it really important. So, if Installation Company of the Year, Rising Star of the Year, Supplier Team of the Year sound like it might be for you, then you can find all the details at kbbreview.com/awards. And every year, of course, we also give out a Special Achievement Award, but that's not one we need entries for. These go to individuals who have made significant contributions to the KBB industry, and it's chosen by the editorial team here at KBB Review. So look out for that one on the night. Okay, on to the retail business categories of our awards. So these are New Retailer of the Year, Showroom of the Year, and Retailer of the Year. And there are kitchen or bathroom versions of each, so there's 6 in total. So, New Kitchen Retailer of the Year and New Bathroom Retailer of the Year is for new businesses or showrooms that have opened up since November 2022, the closing date of the last awards. The important bit in the detail here is that it's for brand new businesses, obviously, but also significant new additions to an existing business. So, for example, you're a kitchen retailer that's opened a brand new bathroom showroom, that kind of thing. The Kitchen Showroom of the Year and Bathroom Showroom of the Year are awards for just that, showrooms. It is solely about showroom design and layout. So if you're really proud of your space, or you've just updated or changed it completely, this is the one for you. And then the big ones, Kitchen Retailer of the Year and Bathroom Retailer of the Year. These are the awards for the whole business. Who are the best all-round retailers in the UK and Ireland? Now, this isn't as daunting as you think, because all the criteria and the judging in the retail business categories are all around assessing what you do with what you've got in the market you operate in. In other words, they aren't awards for who spent the most money, or who makes the most money, or who's got the biggest showroom, or the most affluent clientele. We work really hard to make sure that a small high street retailer has as much chance of winning as a big multi-million pound showroom, because size isn't a factor in being a great retailer. It's about attitude, creative ideas, reputation, financial management, people management, personal touches, and just an all-round love for the job. And none of them are dependent on the square footage of the showroom. So if any of those categories sound like you can find out all the details at kbbreview.com/awards. So let's look now at actually sending your entries in. The process for entering the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards is actually really simple. You go along to the website, which is, shout it all back at me now, kbbreview.com/awards, and have a click around. You can find all the details on each category, and you can also download those details as a PDF along with a copy of the questions you'll get asked on the entry form. That way there's no surprises for you. When you're good to go, you just simply click on Enter and follow all the instructions. We use an entirely online entry process, so you can start it, save it, come back to it later, add bits, take bits away. Do all that right up until the moment you hit Submit. It's really, really simple, I promise you. Plus, of course, it's totally free, so you've got literally nothing to lose. So that's all about the categories and the entering, but how do we choose the winners? Well, our judging process is, we think, the most comprehensive in this sector. We have 5, count them 5, panels of expert judges, and they actually all operate independently of each other. There's a kitchen design panel, a bathroom design panel, a kitchen business panel, a bathroom business panel, and an editorial panel too. And to cut a very long process short, in the design categories, all the entries are scored against the criteria individually by each judge. We add all the scores up, and the top 4 in each category are the finalists. Dead simple. We then convene the judging panels in person, and each of those finalists then has 15 minutes to present their project to the panel and answer any questions. The panel then obviously chooses the winner. In the business categories, we score it all in the same way to get our shortlist, and then all the finalist businesses are visited by judges in person to see it all for themselves. And I honestly can't tell you what a difference this makes in choosing who the eventual winners are. These face-to-face stages of judging are so important in making these awards really valuable, and while I'll be frank with you, it can be a proper headache for me, I wouldn't change a moment of it, because it really does work. And I've seen the top scorer shift right down to the bottom because of that final stage, and I've seen people with the lowest scores of the 4 win it because of that final stage. Anything can happen. Okay, so that's all the basic info, and as I say, if that has whetted your appetite, then you can find out everything you need to know at kbbreview.com/awards. Have I said it enough now? No, I'll keep going. Obviously, I think what you really want to know from me is, how do I get shortlisted and how do I win? Now, I'll be honest, I can't give you the exact answer to that exact question, but what I can answer is, how can I give myself the best possible chance of getting shortlisted and winning, which is the next best thing. So I've been involved in the entries and the judging of these awards for a long time. Do you not remember me telling you how old I was? So trust me here, here's my countdown of terrific top tips that if you stick to them will get you noticed, I promise. Number 1, read all the instructions and follow them. I know, a statement to the bleeding obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people don't follow the basic guidelines. The questions are on the entry forms for a reason, so make sure you answer all of them as best as you can. Number 2, give yourself time to really think about what information you're giving us and how it reads. Some people are daunted by the fact you have to fill a form in like this, but it isn't school. This isn't an essay. You will not be judged on your writing ability or your grammar, but you will be judged on the information you've written. So take some time to think about it. Make some notes on the things you want to get across and points you want to make. Don't overthink the writing bit, but think a lot about the information. Number 3. Now this is a design categories one. Make sure you include floor plans. That's not even really a suggestion or a top tip, if I'm honest. It's a 100% essential rule. Judges always look at floor plans first. Believe me, they are professional designers too. They need to see the context so they can interpret the photos accordingly. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you don't include floor plans, you are almost certainly wasting your time sending an entry in. Number 4. Another design categories one. Make sure you as an individual are only entering each category once. Yeah, I know I said this earlier on, but it really is worth repeating, as you'll just be wasting your time, and on the spur of the moment when you get a phone call from me, you'll end up having to choose which one you want to go to the judges. So don't waste your time. 1 entry per category. Number 5. Yes, and it's another design one. Make sure you fill in the bit about what is or isn't included in the project cost. Judges need to assess where the money has been spent, and this is particularly important when it comes to installation. Do not skip that bit. Number 6. Now this is primarily about design, but it actually applies across all the categories. We need to see decent images. It's not a photography competition and you won't be judged on the photography, but we need to see images that tell the story you're trying to get across. We need images of the full room or the full showroom from several angles if possible. If there are quirky bits that you want to talk about, then we need pictures of that too to put it into context. Lots of people get professional photography done, which is fantastic, but photographers do like doing cool close-ups of taps and bottles of lotion on a shelf. And they're great and they really set a mood, but it doesn't really tell the judges anything. And incidentally, while we need great images, video is also really useful too. I do recommend that, particularly as it gives such context to all the information you're giving us. My recommendation though is 3 or 4 short clips rather than long walkthroughs. Judges have got a lot to get through and they are massive files. Number 7. Now, speaking of telling the judges things, remember that they are all professionals. They all understand what it is you do. In the design categories, for example, tell them what the problems were. Tell them how you fixed that awkward space. Tell them what a nightmare the client was. Tell them about the dodgy drains and the ropey electrics. All this is the story of the project or the business. How you overcome problems and come up with creative workarounds, or just get a great result with limited budget, is all really important in setting entries apart. Number 8. Now this is a business categories one. Be specific and factual in your detail. If you say something is amazing, you have to say why. Now for example, there's a big difference between our new marketing plan had fantastic results and our new marketing plan saw visitors to our showroom increase by 10%. These kind of tangible facts make it much easier to contrast and compare different entries, and also put as much context as possible, particularly if it relates to your location, your target audience, and your own circumstances. Breaking even in a really difficult market is as much an achievement as increasing your turnover in a booming one. The judges are looking for tangible facts and context, not an essay. Number 9. And finally, look at the criteria and use them to shape the information you want to give us. They're all there on the website and the judges score directly against them, so make sure you're addressing them. You can even answer directly in your submission one by one if you want to. This is what they're looking for, so give them enough to make a considered score. Equally, remember that you can't be perfect in all of them. No one can. So don't be put off if you look at one and think, oh, we haven't got much for that. It's the combined score across all the criteria that gets you in the shortlist. That's it. I hope you've got enough from all this to persuade you to give it a go. You really do have nothing to lose, and there's so many fantastic designers and so many amazing businesses out there that really will go far in these awards if only they have the confidence to enter. So if you think you're doing a good job, then chances are others will too. So go to kbbreview.com/awards to find out more, and don't forget that entries close at 5 p.m. on Thursday, November the 16th, and there will be no extensions. The awards event itself is on March the 4th next year at the Hilton Birmingham Metropole, which many of you will know is the Monday night of the KBB Birmingham exhibition. So we're working very closely with the organisers of that, as always. If you want to come to the awards and you want to book your seats or tables, then you can also find that info at kbbreview.com/awards too. And a huge thank you again to our 2024 awards podcast partner, Sonas Bathrooms, for all their support. We'll be bringing you lots of bonus episodes as we follow the entries, judging and planning all the way to the event itself. And one last time, all the information you need is at kbbreview.com/awards. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.